last week was more of a warning, correct? We all been warned that if you're going to be doing deliverance, that little Christian target you got on your back is large now. It's large. Okay? So it's sort of like, I mentioned it was sort of like you come after baptisms, right? As soon as somebody gets baptism, the enemy's after them because they want to taint that new man. He wants to corrupt them, right? He wants to get you right back into your old mess. Well, this week I kind of wanted to touch on what deliverance is as far as a team goes, and what does it mean for someone to go through deliverance. Deliverance isn't somebody's got a problem and we're just going to cast the demon out of them. Deliverance is a group of people that's accountable people. People that you know that's kind of been through it. We don't let anyone minister with us usually unless they've sat in the hot seat. We'll learn about the hot seat. So we don't let people come in and just join us and sit with us because they pray well or because they have a title of a pastor. They don't have titles of minister. Even if they tell us they've done deliverance for years and years and years, in this ministry, the way I oversee it and the way my wife oversees it, unless you sat in that hot seat and we walked you through some stuff, you will not minister. Make sense? I mean, even, it's amazing the pastors that we've sat in the hot seat and the things that's come forth. And they're like, man, I didn't realize that was a problem. So, I want to talk about a couple things you don't want in that room. You don't want a loose lip Lucy. And you don't want loudmouth Larry. Okay? That is two things that will ruin your ministry. If Ernie came to me and needed deliverance, and she does all the time. And no, if Ernie come to me and needed deliverance, and I had a team of people sitting around me, and one of them was the loose-lipped Larry, and we prayed through some very tender things in her life, and next thing you know, members of the congregation here knew about it. How much trust would she have with me? She would have zero. Let alone when she left here and went outside, and somebody goes, oh, I'm going to Spirit Wind Healing Ministries. She's liable to go, be careful, which will eliminate people from sitting in these seats because they know we have a loose-lipped Larry in the crowd, and he's going to spread everything about you. When you're going through deliverance, you're going through things that are, sometimes we're going through things that you're not even aware you have going on. Because if you were aware of it, you would have already know what to deal with. Correct? So, the best thing I could say is make sure you know your team. Start looking for teammates that are accountable to you, right? Every teammate that I've ever sit with was accountable to us. They came to us to understand. Most of the time I put people in, the very first time when we put people in a deliverance session, we sit them in the corner and say, take notes. I don't want to take notes. I didn't want to take notes. I can't even read my own notes. And then you want me to give them to you when you're done? I write in tongues. So, anyways, so we normally set them in the room, and we ask them to be kind of quiet. If you get something and you see something, or you see something happening, we definitely want to know about it. because we're asking, and we've been praying for you already, to have spiritual eyes. It's important that we have a seer in the room. That's why I said that the first week, or the second week. It's important that we have somebody who can see spiritually. And I say that, you've probably heard me say this many a times, if we're only looking in the natural, then we're only going to see what's naturally happening. You're going to see me sitting over the corner yawning every now and again and flicking my hair out of my face, when we need to see what's spiritually going on with the person. A lot of times spiritual things happen that they don't realize. You know, they might start squirming in their seat. You never know what's going on with them. We need to have eyes on them and be focused to them and focus with them. It's important. So important. Thank goodness my wife is such a good seer in the atmosphere, in the spiritual realm. If we're only seeing in the natural, we're not seeing all God wants us to see. Right? We're all spiritual people, spiritual beings. We're not just flesh and bone. And things come in and want to connect to us. How many in this room right now think they might need deliverance? Think about that. And these are Christians. Think about it. I mean, God bless you for raising your hand, being truthful. Hey, I've lived a really clean life. I have. I'm being honest. I've lived a clean life, pretty clean life. I grew up homeless. What did I do? I joined the police force. I'm in law enforcement. Never been arrested. Never had no kind of signs of crimes. Well, I got away with them. Right? It's the only thing that separates me from everybody, from the criminals, is I've got away with mine. I never got caught. I was good at it, I guess. See, so the way it normally happens is I've lived a fairly clean life. So whenever my pastor sat down and goes, it's time you go through this, I was like, a breeze. Mine went on for 6 months. He talked about stuff I wouldn't tell my mom. When he was done, he knew more than my mom. He knew what hour I was born. And the funny part about it was there was many a nights that I went home and things were manifesting. Things manifested after I went through deliverance for hours, for days sometimes. I would see flashes of light rip across our bedroom at night. And when this would happen, it would make me sick for some reason. I would get nauseous. I got up one night and I woke her up. I said, "You better start praying." She goes, "What's going on?" I said, "I don't know, but this cat don't feel right." And I said, "Something's going on." I said, "I keep seeing this light." And I said, every time I look down in the trash can, the glass trash can starts to, remember that? The trash can starts to glow. And then I would hear this one minister that I knew wasn't ministering right, because she was talking about these things. And every time I would hear this minister, I thought she was kind of on the right key, but really she wasn't. She was so wrong, and it was triggering me into something I used to be into, which was the occult. And every time I was getting so nauseous, I'd have to look in the trash can, and when I did, this light would just come out in my face, and I was it was terrible. She got up and started rebuking and breaking stuff off of me before that would release. That's when you know it's demonic. And once it released, I was good to go. We knew what it was. We knew what the problem was. We knew where to turn.